Live? Are we live? What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not break a boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Chris Don One. Welcome to another fabulous edition of Based on a True Story podcast. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? I really do appreciate everyone who has been paying attention to these episodes. Hope you have learned a thing or two. Hope I made you laugh, chuckle, or giggle. I hope you are very informative of things I have done, my past, you know, my past situations, my past mistakes. I hope you guys learn a thing or two from them things so you don't do the same, repeat the same cycle like I did. All right. Uh, First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving. Happy belated Thanksgiving, by the way, I may add. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving day. You know, this is well, it was Black Friday yesterday. I know a lot of you guys are out there out and about getting them deals. You know, type in the comment section what you gotten thus far from Black Friday. That was a hellified deal. Or what did you see uh like on Amazon, Best Buy, wherever you like to go to or shop online at, and tell me your favorite Black Friday deal that you saw. Okay. Me personally, I'm not huge on Black Friday. You know, back in the day when I was, younger, it was like a holiday in itself. Now, it's no big deal to me, But Thanksgiving, I appreciate Thanksgiving. I appreciate all the holidays. I don't think I celebrate them uh to to the max, but I do respect the holidays. I respect everyone who's still anticipation for the holidays. And I wasn't a huge Thanksgiving Day fan in the first place, okay? Um and I'm not trying to say that there's no purpose of having Thanksgiving. I'm not trying to make it political or racist or anything like that. It's just me personally. I wasn't real big on Thanksgiving. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. I enjoyed the family atmosphere. I enjoyed the food. Okay, I think I enjoyed Thanksgiving more when I was a kid. Because my mom would cook, and mom's cooking is light years better than today's cooking and today's convenience when it comes to food and things of that nature. Back in the day, it was a lot of, they had processed stuff, but they didn't use a lot of processed stuff. They did everything by scratch. I mean, the macaroni and cheese was by scratch. Okay, the turnip greens, the collard green, they actually go to the market or go to the grocery store and get fresh turnip greens and prepare them and cook them. Okay, like turkey and ham and Thanksgiving is where, to me, Thanksgiving is where you're going to get the purest form of food. Okay, nothing's going to be on their process. Now, maybe today's modern times, people, really don't have a lot of time to spend hours upon hours in the kitchen. And a lot of people, it is what it is. But to me, Thanksgiving, out of all the holidays, I'm not saying Thanksgiving wasn't important. I'm not saying I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's just, to me, Thanksgiving wasn't, it wasn't even top five. Matter of fact, tell me y'all top five lists of holidays, okay? If I had to sit back and really think about it, and I haven't really put too much thought into it, I want to say the 4th of July is number one, because the 4th of July has all the things I like in one day. Okay, it's hot. I like hot days versus cold days. It was the summertime when I was a kid. I was out of school, so that's a plus. Barbecues and fireworks. Okay, I don't. I'm a little older now. I don't play around with fireworks, but I do enjoy the barbecue, the backyard barbecues, man. Things be popping. All right. So that's clearly number one. Number two is Christmas. As a kid, Christmas could be number one. Well, when you get older, you know, Christmas, it just hits a little different with Christmas to me. But I'm gonna say, as of right now, 4th of July, Christmas is number two. Christmas is number two. Okay. The third holiday, and I just got through telling y'all, I just ran through a soliloquy. Can I say that? Soliloquy? Yeah. On Thanksgiving not being the most popular holiday, but to do this top five list, you're going to have to slide Thanksgiving on in there for third. I say fourth. Oh man, that's a toss up. Fourth to me is Valentine's Day. Now, when I was a kid and I was in school, Valentine's Day wasn't all that important because, I wasn't lucky with the girls. And, if you've been following my stories, you would know that, okay? When I was young, I wasn't, savoir faire with the females, okay? But as I got older, I got pretty decent at it, and Valentine's Day, really meant something, okay? And then last but not least, number five is Halloween. I like Halloween. I like Halloween because you get to dress up. There's candy. You get to go to when you was young, you get to go to Halloween parties, get drunk, get wasted. No, well, as a kid, you go out on the street and do trick or treat, go door to door, and things of that nature. But when you grow out of that, then you go to the parties and things of that nature. Might get you some. I never got that lucky. Okay, and when you get much older, you get to watch the horror movies. I started watching all the horror movies on Halloween. Okay. So yeah, those are my top five. Comment in the comment section, tell me what your top five. Okay. So got that on out of the way. All right. But yeah, back to Thanksgiving. A lot of people don't believe it or not, there's people among us that walk the earth still don't know the true definition of Thanksgiving. Okay. A lot of people look at it from the receiver point of view, being thankful. If you was invited to a Thanksgiving Day dinner or a Thanksgiving Day party, people people look at it from the receiver point of view. Okay. But Thanksgiving is being thankful that God allowed you a day to wake up. Thanksgiving, and a lot of people don't associate this word with Thanksgiving, but I feel like Thanksgiving being humble, you know, understanding your surroundings, understanding where you was and understanding where you are now. Understanding that, if you're able, help the community out, help people out, because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, can't help themselves. Okay. But I feel like Thanksgiving is being human, being humble, um, and I look at Thanksgiving that way. Yeah, of course, it's the big rose with the dinners and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's the true definition of Thanksgiving. Well, what's your favorite Thanksgiving Day dinner, folks? Comment in the comment section. Tell me your favorite Thanksgiving dinner, or accessories. You can't go wrong with candied yams. Candied yams and marshmallows on top of it. Can't go wrong. Man, that's some good eating right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Turkey with gravy, brown gravy. Can't go wrong with that. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, somebody just commented. What's up? What's it? Thompson? Mac and cheese. You can't go wrong with mac and cheese. Definitely can't go wrong with mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is the bomb dealio. There's this Jello stuff. I forgot the name of it. If y'all know what I'm talking about. It comes in a can. You pop it out, and you make slices of it. I like that stuff, and I like mixing it with the turkey and the gravy sometimes. Potato salad, can't go wrong with potato salad. All right, man. Dressing, man. A lot of people can't cook. The two things that can mess up a Thanksgiving Day dinner is the turkey being overcooked and the dressing being dry. Because the turkey got to be moist, okay? You know, not, you know, not tough or, it's got to be moist. It got to fall right off the bone when you slice it. Pause. And dressing, it's gotta be thick and moist. Okay, it's not supposed to be hard and crunchy. If you eating dressing and you crunching that ish, then yeah, man, you ain't had no real dressing. Now, to me, if you don't know how to cook dressing, there's several ways you can get better dressing than what you're cooking. Okay, you can call a caterer. You can you can buy it you can buy it in the store in the freezer section, or stovetop. I think stovetop makes the best quick dressing. I kind of like. You can't mess up stovetop unless you put way too much water in it. That's the only way you can mess up stovetop. But any type of stovetop would do, because stovetop could be the bomb dilly. Okay. Um, but yeah, and ham. I like ham. I'm a big fan of ham. I don't like ham when it's dry. Some people, keep the ham in the oven way too long, just like turkey. You just gotta keep it in there just right. And shout out to the people that know how to cook. If you know how to cook, shout out to you, okay? Because if it wasn't you guys out there, a lot of us would be starving to death. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I'm pretty decent with cooking, but I'm not good with cooking. Okay, I can cook a meal. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but the most important quality to a human being is the ability to cook. Okay, if you don't know how to cook, you need to find someone that do know how to cook. All right, because if you get together with somebody and you know for a fact you don't know how to cook, you get together with somebody and y'all want to be in a relationship, and you come to find out your significant other don't know how to cook. Okay, you can't keep going. You can't keep going to the fast food places and the restaurants for long. One of y'all gonna have to learn how to cook. Okay, but yeah, I think I like Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving, but I understand Thanksgiving. Let's put it that way. Okay. Hold on. Okay, moving on. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you guys about real fast, real quick, about I appreciate, and this is, you could probably define this under being thankful. We just had Thanksgiving a couple of days ago. All right. Um, to me, I want to appreciate you guys being super thankful for subscribing to the channel, for liking the content, for commenting in the comments, sharing it with your friend, family, as well as your followers. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me, because every week, I think it's around Wednesday or Thursday, I get my analytics from YouTube. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, if it wasn't for you guys, putting in the effort, sharing it, liking it, commenting it, I would, stop doing it, because I feel like there's no real purpose in it. But it seems like a lot of you guys are digging the story time live streams, and want me to do more. At first, this just started off as a quick live stream just to rant about stuff, and then it just evolved into this. So as long as you guys are continuing to watch, I'm going to continue to give you the content. All right. But if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, comment in the comment section, because I kind of want to graduate from telling my tales or telling on myself to stuff that what interests you guys that you want to talk about. So I want to dedicate at least a day where or even I would like to do it every day, where we just talk about things that you guys bring up. You know, I've been wanting to do the community tab and comment in the community tab and tell you guys, hey, things if you if there's something out there that you guys want me to talk about, we'll talk about it. It has to be PG now. It's got to be family friendly. It's got to be under the YouTube guidelines. You just can't sit up there and talk about everything. All right, there are some things that even YouTube won't allow. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Real fast, real quick. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about someone on my sports channel. I forgot to bring this article up. Somebody wanted to talk about Steph Curry and why he left Under Armour. You can read the articles, and the articles are going to say it's mutual. I mean, you can hear the news, and the news is going to say, oh, it was just a mutual decision. But, you know, we living in reality, right? We all living in reality, correct? Since when, you have ever made a decision that was mutual? How many times how many times have that happened to you in your life? Maybe after the decision was made, and maybe someone is trying to be respectable to you and just say, yeah, I was feeling the same way too. But realistically, we're living in the real world, right? So when have you ever made a decision that both parties agreed on it? Okay, so quit, knock it off with the mutual stuff. So to me, I feel like Under Armour is looking at this as like, man, we're giving this man a lot of money, and we're not, you know, we're not getting nothing back from this. Okay? I mean, he's getting all the money, he's getting all the praise, he's getting all the accolades, and things of that nature. And that's fine, Steph Curry, that's fine. But how's that helping us here at Under Armour? You dig what I'm saying? So I can understand how Under Armour came to the decision to say, hey, look, this ain't working for us. Let's just cut it off right here, and you go your way and we go our way. Okay? I think there's a lot of determining factors why it didn't work. One is, a lot of people was not repping them Steph Curry shoes. Let's just go and get that on out of the way. How many times, I guarantee you, if you go downtown, walk around downtown, you won't even see a single person wearing Steph Curry shoes. Just Under Armour shoes in general. I don't know a lot of people that wear Under Armour shoes. I don't think Under Armour is really known for shoes. I think it's known for apparel. I think it's known for certain individuals sponsoring Under Armour, but that's pretty much it. Under Armour never been on that same type of time as Nike or Reebok or Adidas. Nike, well, Jordan and Nike, they're the king of that shoe game. There's nobody's going to change that ever. Okay. But I have never known anyone that wore Under Armour shoes, much less talked about Under Armour shoes. Let's go get the elephant on out of the room, And two, I don't consider Steph Curry a person who can represent shoes or represent the shoe culture. I don't think he moves the needle that way. And I'm not sitting up here telling y'all, well, if they would have, if they would have signed someone else other than Steph Curry, it may would have turned out differently. I don't think it would have ever turned out differently, even with them, repping somebody else other than Steph Curry. But I feel like those are the two determining factors on why they couldn't sell shoes. And this mutual stuff, like, Under Armour and Steph Curry reached a conclusion that, hey, we felt like it was mutual for us to just split up, because it was not this deal was not benefiting him or us. I feel like it was benefiting Steph Curry more because Steph Curry was, getting a signature shoe out there, even though nobody wasn't buying it. But plus, he was getting money. You can always, if you're in a bad situation, you can always make a bad situation look somewhat decent, and why you want to continue to be in this bad situation. You just take something away from it. So, well, at least I get this, or at least I'll be able to do that, or at least, that's life, right? You're in a fucked up job. It's a bad job. Thanks for the thumbs up. But what do people always say? Well, I'd rather have a job than not a job at all. Isn't that what people say when they in a bad job? Well, I'd rather be at a job than not be at a job. Or somebody would say, well, I make a lot of money here, so I guess it justifies it. Or I get weekends off, so that justifies it. So you could be in a messed up situation, but you could advertise it as, yeah, it's messed up, but at least I'm able to do this, at least I'm able to do that type of situation. It's the same thing in a relationship. Damn, he be dogging you out, girl. And then she'll say, well, at least I don't have to work. At least he gives me money. At least, you'll always figure out something to say when you're in a messed up situation. But let someone else be in that same exact situation. Let the roles reverse. And then the ones that are in the messed up situations, they're your biggest critics. Like if someone else has to deal with that, and they're in a better situation, then they'll be talking about, I don't know why you at that job. That job don't, see what I'm saying? Or I don't know why you with him or with her. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, to me, that Under Armour stuff, it wasn't mutual. It's just Under Armour saying, look, we're not selling shoes. It's not benefiting us. It's benefiting him, but it's not benefiting us. That was the whole purpose of us signing him in the first place. I was never a big fan of Under Armour. I thought that was a bad deal all the way around. Just like I said about Drake. I said the Drake situation, that was a bad deal all the way around. And now look at Drake. When he signed that deal with Universal, I said, man, you signing for pennies on the dollar, 400 M's? That's all Drake can get. And Universal owns your name, your voice, your likeness. You don't own nothing. You don't even really own your catalog. So you sold all that for 400 M's. That's a one-way deal. That's Universal's benefiting off of it. And they benefited the most out of this beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake in the first place. But hey, what do I know? Anywho, I gotta get up out of here. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. I gotta go. I'm gone. Deuces.